What I'm going to share with you today is that this phenomenon, the field effect, isn't just a poetic description of human togetherness. It's a measurable, scientifically documented reality. And more importantly, it's something you can deliberately access and use. The field effect is why transformation happens faster in groups than alone. Welcome to the Reality Revolution. I'm your host, Brian Scott, and today we're going to talk about the field effect. In particular, how to access the power of collective consciousness. Something remarkable happens when human beings gather together with a shared intention. You've felt it. Even if you've never had words for it, you have felt it. Maybe it was at a concert when the music hit a certain point and suddenly the entire crowd moved as one organism. Thousands of separate people breathing together, swaying together, feeling the same thing at the same moment. The boundary between you and everyone else dissolved and you became part of something larger. Maybe it was at a sporting event when your team scored and the stadium erupted. The wave of energy that moved through you wasn't just excitement, it was a connection to a collective field that amplified everything you felt by a factor of thousands. I think that's one reason we love to go to live sporting events. Maybe it was in a moment of collective grief or collective celebration, a vigil, a protest, a wedding, a funeral. Moments when the shared emotion of the group creates something that no individual could create alone. Or maybe it was more subtle, walking into a room and immediately sensing the energy, knowing before anyone spoke whether the mood was tense or relaxed, hostile or welcoming. That wasn't your imagination. You were reading the field. What I'm going to share with you today is that this phenomenon, the field effect, isn't just a poetic description of human togetherness. It's a measurable, scientifically documented reality. And more importantly, it's something you can deliberately access and use. The field effect is why transformation happens faster in groups than alone. It's why retreats and workshops and gatherings can create shifts that years of solo practice don't produce. It's why meditating with others feels different than meditating by yourself. It's why some places hold certain energies and some groups seem to have an almost magical ability to manifest together. There's an invisible architecture to collective consciousness, a structure to how group energy works, and when you understand it, you gain access to a source of power that most people don't even know exists. Today I'm going to talk about what fields are and how they work. I'm going to show you the science, the actual research from places like Princeton and HeartMath that proves collective fields are real. I'm going to explain a concept called pendulums that will change how you understand group dynamics forever. And then I'm going to guide you through an activation where you actually experience connecting to a group field, where you tap into collective energy and let it amplify your own transformation. Because here's what I've discovered after years of doing this work: the most profound shifts I've ever witnessed didn't happen to people sitting alone in their bedrooms. They happened when people gathered together, focused their intention on the same thing, and let the field do what fields do. Let me explain what I mean. In the 1980s, a biologist named Rupert Sheldrake proposed something radical. Sheldrake had been studying developmental biology, how organisms grow from a single cell into complex forms, and he kept running into a problem the mainstream science couldn't solve. How does a cell know what to become? DNA contains information, yes, but DNA is the same in every cell of your body. The DNA in your heart cells is identical to the DNA in your brain cells. So what tells a heart cell to be a heart cell and a brain cell to be a brain cell? What organizes the development of form? Sheldrake proposed that in addition to matter and energy, there are fields, invisible organizing patterns that shape how things develop and behave. He called these morphic fields from the Greek word for form. A morphic field is like a blueprint that exists outside of physical matter but influences physical matter. It's an information field that carries patterns. Think of how a magnet creates an invisible field that organizes iron filings into a specific pattern. You can't see the magnetic field, but you can see its effects. Sheldrake proposed that morphic fields work similarly, but for biological and behavioral patterns. Here's where it gets really interesting. Sheldrake proposed that morphic fields aren't static, they evolve. They're shaped by the accumulated experience of everyone and everything that has participated in them. He called this process morphic resonance. Morphic resonance means that when something happens somewhere, it becomes easier for the same thing to happen everywhere else. The field learns, the field remembers, the field transmits. Let me give you a concrete example. In the 1920s, scientists were studying crystallization patterns. They noticed something strange. When a new chemical compound was first crystallized, it was often difficult to get it to form crystals. But once it had been crystallized successfully somewhere in the world, it became easier to crystallize everywhere, even in labs that had no contact with the original researchers. The conventional explanation was that perhaps invisible fragments of the original crystals were floating through the air and seeding new crystallization, but Sheldrake proposed something different. The morphic field for the crystal had been established. The pattern now existed in the field, and other crystals could resonate with it. Here's another example that's been studied extensively. When rats learn a new maze in one location, rats of the same breed in other locations learn the same maze faster, even when there's no physical connection between them. The first group creates a pattern in the morphic field. The second group accesses that pattern. This has been replicated in numerous studies. The effect is real. Somehow learning in one place makes learning in another place easier. Now apply this to human consciousness. According to Sheldrake's theory, every human thought, emotion, behavior, and belief creates a ripple in the morphic field. And the more people who think, feel, or believe something, the stronger that pattern becomes in the field. This is why cultural shifts happen the way they do. An idea starts with a few people gaining momentum and then suddenly tips into mainstream acceptance. The field reaches a critical mass, and what was once difficult becomes easy. This is also why old patterns are so hard to break. If millions of people have reinforced a particular way of thinking, that pattern is deeply embedded in the field. You're not just fighting your own conditioning, you're swimming against a current of collective habit. But here's the flip side. When you gather with other people who are creating a new pattern, you're not alone. You're creating a field together. You're establishing a new current that others can swim with. The more people who join that field, the stronger it becomes. The easier the pattern becomes to access, the more the transformation spreads. This is why groups matter. This is why gathering matters. You're not just having a personal experience, you're contributing to and drawing from a collective field that amplifies everything. Sheldrake was initially ridiculed by the scientific establishment. The editor of Nature called his first book a book to be burned. But over the decades, more and more evidence has accumulated, and mainstream science is slowly coming around to the idea that fields of various kinds play a role in how reality works. But Sheldrake's work on morphic fields is just one piece of the puzzle. Let me tell you about the research on collective coherence. The HeartMath Institute has been studying the heart's electromagnetic field for over 3 decades. And what they've discovered has profound implications for understanding how groups work. For some basics, your heart generates the largest electromagnetic field of any organ in your body. It's about 60 times greater in amplitude than the brain's field, and it can be detected several feet away from your body using sensitive instruments. Your heart is broadcasting an electromagnetic signal that extends beyond your skin, beyond your personal space, into the environment around you. HeartMath researchers discovered that the patterns in this field change based on your emotional state. When you're feeling frustration, anxiety, or fear, your heart rhythm becomes chaotic and erratic. This is called incoherence. The signal your heart broadcasts when you're incoherent is essentially noise. But when you're feeling appreciation, love, care, or compassion, something different happens. Your heart rhythm becomes smooth and ordered, what they call a coherent wave pattern. This coherent signal is much more powerful and much more organized than the incoherent patterns. Now here's where it gets fascinating. HeartMath conducted studies on what happens when people are in physical proximity. They found that when one person enters a coherent state, it can influence the heart rhythms of people nearby. The coherent signal of one heart actually entrains synchronicities with other hearts in the vicinity. This is called social coherence, and it happens automatically without anyone trying to make it happen. When you're in the presence of someone who is in a highly coherent state, your own physiology tends to sync up with theirs. You've experienced this. Think of a time you were with someone who was completely calm and centered, and you noticed yourself calming down just by being near them. That wasn't just psychological, it was electromagnetic. Their field was entraining yours. Now multiply this by a room full of people. When a group of people collectively enter a coherent state, all generating those smooth, ordered heart rhythms together, something remarkable emerges. A collective field forms that's greater than the sum of its parts. HeartMath has documented this in numerous settings, in workshops, in meditation groups, in corporate training sessions. When a critical mass of people in a room reach coherence, the entire room shifts. Even people who are struggling to get coherent on their own suddenly find it easy, because the collective field is carrying them. This is why transformation accelerates in groups. You're not just doing your own work, you're being supported by the coherent field of everyone else who's doing work with you. But there's more. The Global Coherence Initiative, which is a HeartMath project, has been studying whether this effect can extend beyond a room, whether larger numbers of people can influence global fields. They place magnetometers, sensitive instruments that detect magnetic fields at various locations around the Earth, and they found correlations between human emotional states and fluctuations in the Earth's magnetic field. During major global events, both positive and traumatic, there are measurable shifts in these planetary fields that correlate with collective human attention and emotion. This research connects with work done at Princeton University, which I want to tell you about. For almost 3 decades, the Princeton Engineering Anomalies Research Lab, or PEAR, studied whether human consciousness could influence physical systems. Using random number generators, they found small but statistically significant effects. Human intention appeared to be able to influence randomness. But here's the key finding for our purposes. When groups focused together, the effect was much stronger than when individuals worked alone. The group effect wasn't just additive, it was multiplicative. 2 people together produced more than twice the effect of one person. After PEAR closed, this research continued through the Global Consciousness Project. They placed random number generators at locations around the world, creating a kind of collective consciousness detection network. During events that capture global attention, New Year celebrations, major disasters, moments of collective meditation, these random number generators start behaving less randomly. The data shows deviations from chance that correlate with moments of collective focus. The scientists involved are careful not to overclaim what this means, but the pattern is consistent. When large numbers of humans focus on the same thing at the same time, something measurable happens in physical systems. The field effect is real, it's measurable, it's documented, and it's something you can learn to work with deliberately. Now I want to introduce you to a concept that will change how you see group dynamic forever. This comes from a body of work called Reality Transurfing, developed by a Russian quantum physicist named Vadim Zeland. Zeland introduced the concept of pendulums. A pendulum in this context is an energy structure that forms when a group of people think about the same thing. It's created by collective thought energy, and once created, it takes on a kind of life of its own. Think about it like this. When one person has a thought, it creates a small ripple in the field. When two people have the same thought, the ripples interfere constructively. They amplify each other. When millions of people are thinking about the same thing, they don't just get millions of ripples. You get a wave, a structure, an entity. This is a pendulum. It's made of thought energy, held together by the collective attention of everybody who participates in it. Every organization is a pendulum. Every political party, every religion, every sports team's fan base, every social movement, every trend, every company, every nation. Pendulums exist because people feed them with attention and emotional energy. And the key insight is that pendulums need that energy to survive. They're like organisms that feed on human attention. This is why pendulums are designed, often unconsciously, to capture and hold your attention. This is why the news is designed to provoke emotional reactions. This is why social media is addictive. This is why tribal identities are so compelling. The pendulums need your energy, and they've evolved sophisticated ways to get it. When you get swept up in a pendulum, when you get emotionally invested in a political fight or obsessed with a celebrity gossip, or caught up in fear about some future catastrophe, you're feeding the pendulum. Your life force is being harvested by an energy structure that doesn't have your best interests at heart. Pendulums don't care about you. They care about their own survival. They need adherents, people who give them energy. And they will manipulate you to get that energy any way they can. The most effective way pendulums capture energy is through conflict. When a pendulum can spot you fighting against something, an opposing political view, a competing religion, a rival tribe, it gets energy from both sides. Your resistance to the enemy feeds the pendulum just as much as your support for your side. This is why the world seems so polarized. The pendulums benefit from polarization. They get more energy when people are fighting than when people are at peace. Now, I'm not telling you this to make you paranoid or to suggest that all groups are bad. That's not the point. The point is an awareness. When you understand how pendulums work, you can make conscious choices about which ones you participate in and how. Some pendulums are beneficial. A meditation community is a pendulum. A group focused on healing and transformation is a pendulum. A movement toward greater consciousness is a pendulum. The Reality Revolution community is no doubt a pendulum. The difference is in the structure and the intention. Beneficial pendulums are organized around upliftment, expansion, and mutual support. They give energy back to participate. They help you grow. Destructive pendulums are organized around fear, conflict, and dependency. They take more than they give. They keep you small. Here's the practical application. When you consciously choose to participate in a beneficial pendulum, when you gather with others who are focused on growth and transformation, you tap into the accumulated energy of that field. You get carried by the momentum of the collective. This is why your environment matters so much. This is why the people you spend time with matter. This is why the media you consume matters. You're not just being influenced psychologically, you are merging your energy field with the pendulums you participate in. And when you physically gather with a group that shares your intentions for transformation, when you're in the same room with people who are all focused on shifting into their greatest timeline, the pendulum effect amplifies everything. The morphic field is strengthened. The HeartMath coherence effect kicks in. You become part of something much more powerful than you could have ever been alone. So how do you actually work with this? Let me show you. I want to teach you how to deliberately access and work with collective fields. This is a skill that will serve you whether you're alone or in a group. Because Something most people don't realize, you can connect to a group field even when you're not physically present with the group. The field exists in a non-local way. It's not bound by space the way physical matter is. When you've been a part of a group, when you've contributed to a collective field, that consciousness remains. You can tune back into it, you can draw from it, you can add to it. And even groups you've never physically been part of, if you resonate with their intention, you can connect to their field. Let me teach you how. Before you can connect to a collective field, you need to be coherent yourself. You can't tune a radio to a clear station if the radio itself is full of static. The fastest way to establish coherence is through the heart. Place your attention on your heart area. Actually feel the physical space in the center of your chest. Now breathe as if you're breathing through your heart. Imagine the breath flowing in and out through that space, slow and rhythmic. As you do this, activate a feeling of appreciation. Not gratitude as a concept, but the actual feeling. Think of someone you love or a moment of beauty or something you're genuinely grateful for. Let that feeling fill your heart area. This combination, heart-focused breathing plus activated positive emotion, shifts your heart rhythm into coherence within 60 to 90 seconds. This is the HeartMath quick coherence technique. It's been validated in hundreds of studies. Once you're coherent, you become a clear receiver. Your antenna is tuned. Now from this coherent state, set an intention for the field you want to connect with. This could be a specific group you've been a part of. It could be the community of people who do this work. Everyone around the world who's focused on consciousness expansion and reality creation. It could be the field of all beings who are awakening. You might say internally, I connect now to the field of all those who are shifting into higher consciousness. I open to receive the support of this collective field. I add my energy to this field for the benefit of all. Let me say it again. I connect now to the field of all those who are shifting into higher consciousness. I open to receive the support of this collective field. I add my energy to this field for the benefit of all. The specific words don't matter. The intention does. You're setting a direction for your awareness. Now, while maintaining heart coherence, let your awareness expand beyond your body. Most of the time, our attention is contracted, focused on our thought, our problems, our immediate surroundings. But your field of awareness can expand dramatically. Start by sensing the space around your body. Feel the air, feel the room. Let your awareness extend to fill the entire space you're in. Then let it expand further. Sense the building you're in, the neighborhood, the city, the region. Keep expanding. Feel your awareness spreading across the country, across the planet. Sense all the other beings out there who are doing the same work right now, at this very moment. All the people meditating, praying, focusing on transformation. There are millions of them right now. You're not alone. As you expand, you'll start to feel something. It might be subtle at first, a sense of connection, a feeling of being held, a warmth or tingling, a feeling of support. This is the field you're tuning into it. Now you're connected. You're part of the field. What do you do with this? First, receive. Allow the energy and support of the collective field to flow into you. You don't have to do all the work yourself. The field is there to help you. This is the key. Let it. Feel the accumulated wisdom, love, and intention of everyone who has contributed to the field. Centuries of seekers, millions of meditators, countless beings who have walked this path before you. Their energy is available to you. Their breakthroughs make your breakthroughs easier, but also contribute. This isn't just about taking. As you do your own inner work, as you raise your frequency, as you transform, you're adding to the field. Your coherence strengthens the collective coherence. Your healing helps heal the collective. Let your heart's electromagnetic field broadcast outward. Let your intention ripple through the collective. You are a node in a vast network, receiving and transmitting. The more you practice this, the easier it becomes to maintain field connection throughout your day. You don't have to be in formal meditation to be connected. You can walk through your day with an expanded awareness, feeling the support of the collective, contributing your own coherence to the field. This is living in field awareness. It transforms everything. Problems become easier because you're not solving them alone. Transformation accelerates because you're riding the wave of collective intention. Synchronicities increase because you're aligned with larger patterns. Let me guide you through an actual activation experience. I want you to actually experience what we've been talking about, not just understand it intellectually, but feel in your body. Know it in your being. You can do this wherever you are. You don't need to close your eyes if that's not comfortable, but you might want to. Just allow yourself to be fully present with this experience. Take a breath. Let your body relax. Feel yourself here, now, in this moment. Feel the weight of your body wherever it's resting. Feel the air around you. Feel the space you're in. Bring your attention to your heart, that physical space in the center of your chest. Let your awareness rest there. And as you focus on your heart, let yourself breathe slowly and deeply. Imagine each breath flowing in and out through your heart center. In through the heart, out through the heart. Slow, rhythmic, and natural. Now activate a feeling of appreciation. Think of someone you love, someone who makes your heart warm. Or think of a moment of pure beauty you've experienced, a sunset, a piece of music, perfect moment. Let that feeling fill your heart, not the thought of appreciation, but the actual feeling, the warmth, the expansion, the softening. Feel your heart generating a field, an electromagnetic broadcast extending beyond your body. You can't see it, but it's there. It's real. It's measurable. And right now, it's coherent. It's organized. It's powerful. From this coherent state, let your awareness begin to expand. Sense the space immediately around your body. The air. The room. Let your field extend to fill the space. Now let it expand further. Sense the building you're in, the land around it, the neighborhood, the city. Keep expanding. Your awareness is not limited to your body. Your field can extend as far as you allow it to. Expand across the region, across the country. Sense the millions of people around you, most of them unaware of the fields they're creating, most of them asleep to this reality, but not all of them. Right now, at this very moment, there are thousands of people around the world who are doing exactly what you're doing, meditating, expanding their awareness, working on their consciousness, holding a vision for transformation. They're part of the same field you're connecting to. Feel for them, sense them. All over the planet, different time zones, different cultures, different languages, but the same intention, the same frequency, the same work. Let your field merge with their fields, like drops of water joining an ocean. You're still you, but you're also part of something much larger. This is the collective field of awakening. It's been building for decades, centuries, millennia. Every seeker who ever walked this path contributed to it. Every teacher, every master, every ordinary person who chose consciousness over unconsciousness, and now you're part of it. You're drawing from it. You're adding to it. Feel the support. Feel how you're not alone. Feel the accumulated wisdom and love and breakthrough energy of countless beings who want you to succeed. Let that support flow into you, into your heart, into your cells, into your being. You don't have to do this alone. You never did. Now, holding this connection, bring to mind whatever you're working on transforming in your life, whatever intention you're holding, whatever vision you're creating. Don't force it. Just gently bring it into this space of collective support. Feel the field support your transformation. Feel the collective energy amplifying your intention. Feel how much easier this becomes when you're not doing it alone. Your intention is now being held by a field that includes thousands of coherent hearts. Your transformation is being supported by the morphic field of everyone who has ever done this work. Let that in. Let it be easy. Let the field do what fields do. Stay here for a moment. Breathing, feeling, receiving, contributing. Feel gratitude for this connection, for this community across time and space. For every being who has ever held a light for human awakening. And feel gratitude for yourself, for choosing this, for doing this work, for being part of the field that's shifting reality. Gently let your awareness begin to contract back to your body, not disconnecting from the field. You're never disconnected, but bringing your focus back to your physical form. Feel your heart, your breath, your body. Know that this connection is always available. Anytime you want to access the collective field, you can. You know now, the doorway is always open. Take a deep breath. Feel yourself here now in your body, in your space. And when you're ready, open your eyes if they're closed. What you just experienced is available to you all the time, not just in meditation, not just when you're doing a formal practice, all the time. Living in field awareness means moving through your life with a continuous sense of connection to something larger than yourself. It means knowing in your body, and not just your mind, that you're part of an interconnected web of consciousness. Here's how to cultivate this as an ongoing state. First, start your day with field connection. Before you pick up your phone, before you check your mail, before you engage with the demands of the day, take even just 2 seconds to drop into heart coherence and expand your awareness to the collective field. 2 minutes if you have that. This sets a tone for everything that follows. You're establishing from the start that you're connected, supported, part of something larger. Second, practice micro expansions throughout the day. You're in line at the grocery store, expand your awareness to include everyone in the store. You're in traffic, expand to include all the people and all the cars. You're in a meeting, expand to include the highest potential of everyone in the room. These don't have to be long or elaborate, just brief moments of remembering that you're part of a larger field and letting your awareness expand to include more. Third, pay attention to how the field affects you. Notice when you walk into a room and immediately feel the energy. Notice how different people's fields affect your state. Notice how your own state affects the people around you. The more you pay attention, the more sensitive you become. You'll start reading fields as naturally as you read facial expressions. Fourth, be deliberate about which fields you participate in. Remember what we discussed about pendulums. Every group, every community, every organization has a field. When you engage with them, you're joining that field. Choose consciously. Spend time with people whose fields uplift you. Limit exposure to fields that drain you. Create and strengthen fields that serve your highest intention. Fifth, remember that you're always contributing. You're never just receiving from a field, you're always adding to it. Your state of being, your coherence or incoherence, your emotions and intentions, all this broadcasts into the collective field. This is responsibility and power in equal measure. You affect the whole The whole affects you. We're all in this together, literally. When you live from this awareness, everything changes. Loneliness dissolves. How can you be lonely when you're connected to a global field of consciousness? Despair becomes harder to hold on to. How can things be hopeless when millions of beings are working toward awakening? Your individual transformation stops being just about you. It becomes your contributions to the whole. Every breakthrough you have ripples through the field. Every insight you receive becomes available to others through morphic resonance. You matter. Your work matters, not just for you, but for everyone. Bring this together. The field effect is real. Morphic fields exist. Collective coherence is measurable. The pendulum dynamics of group energy are constantly at play. You're not an isolated individual trying to transform yourself through sheer willpower and listening to YouTube videos. You're a node in a vast network of consciousness, constantly receiving from and contributing to fields that extend far beyond your individual awareness. When you understand this, and not just intellectually but experientially, transformation accelerates because you stop doing it alone. You start working with the fields instead of against them or oblivious to them. You can access the collective field anytime, anywhere, using the technique I've taught you today. That connection is always available. That support is always there. But I want to tell you something from years of doing this work. There's a difference between connecting to a field remotely and being physically present in a room where the field is being generated live. When you're in the same physical space with other people who are all in coherence, all focused on the same intention, all generating powerful heart fields simultaneously, something happens that's hard to replicate any other way. The HeartMath research shows this, the Princeton research shows this, and anyone who's ever been in a powerful group experience knows this intuitively. 225 hearts beating in coherence, 225 electromagnetic fields overlapping and entraining, 225 people contributing to a morphic field of transformation. That's what we created in Los Angeles in November, and it was one of the most amazing experiences of my life. And the good news is that's what we're creating at the Newark event in New Jersey. As if you're flying into New York City, right next to the airport, February 27th through March 1st. 3 days at the Newark Airport Hilton of sustained field building. 3 days of collective coherence, a central location. 3 days of creating something together that none of us could create alone. Kyle Boyd will be there from the Heart Coherence Collaborative, specifically to help facilitate the field effect. His work is designed around exactly what we've been talking about today. So many people on the East Coast have been asking for something closer to home when we heard you, and we found a location that is accessible from the whole region. The Newark Airport Hilton. You can fly in from anywhere. And if you were at our LA event, you experienced what happens when we gather. You felt the field. You know what I'm talking about. You know why I'm so passionate about this. If you haven't experienced that yet, if you've been doing this work alone, through videos and meditations and solo practice, I'm proud of you. I want you to know what's possible when you step into a room full of people who are all at the same frequency. You might feel alone, but you won't be when you're there. The link is in the description. You can find it at www.brianscottlive.com/February-2026. Early bird pricing is still available. Whether or not you come to the event, remember what you learned today. You're not alone. You've never been alone. There's a field supporting you right now in this moment. As you listen to these words, tap into it, draw from it, contribute to it. We're all in this together, and together we are unstoppable. Another place you can access this field is in the Reality Revolution community on School, where we meet on a weekly basis, and I have exclusive content. We discuss these group dynamics, and I create group meditations. You can find the link in the description at www.school.com/Reality Revolution. I hope to see you there. Sending all my love, all my light to everyone listening, imagining the greatest things for you, seeing us all coming together. And welcome to the reality revolution. You felt it. That pull, like you're supposed to be somewhere else. Someone else. Like there's a version of your life that's already happening and you're just watching it from the wrong side of the glass. What if that version isn't somewhere else? What if it's right here, waiting for you to step into it? Not through years of work, not through more information, through a single moment of actual shift. Three days, one room. Everything changes. The East Coast finally has a door, and it's opening on February 27th. The question isn't whether you're ready, it's whether you'll answer.